One medical bill can destroy years of financial progress, even if you have insurance. Hey, I'm Astrid, and today I'm going to teach you something most people only learn the hard way. Because right now there's a good chance you're either paying for coverage you don't fully understand, or completely unprotected against the risk most likely to actually hurt you. We're talking about insurance. Health, life, disability, property. By the end of this video, you'll know what each type actually does, what it costs you beyond the monthly premium, and which ones most people get completely wrong. Give me 10 minutes. Nothing here is financial or legal advice. Every plan is different, every situation is different, and the right coverage depends entirely on your specific circumstances. What I'm giving you today is the foundation. I want you to meet Sarah. Sarah is 34. Stable job. A little savings. Health insurance through her employer. She thinks she's covered. She's never looked at the details, never read the fine print, never checked what her deductible actually is. Then she ends up in the hospital. 3 days. Unexpected surgery. She gets discharged. She's okay. She feels relieved. Then the bill arrives. She opens it, reads the number, reads it again. Her insurance covered most of it, but most of it still left her with a 5-figure balance she has to pay out of pocket. Money she doesn't have sitting in her account. Money that is now the most stressful thing in her life. Sarah didn't have bad insurance. She had insurance she didn't understand. You don't feel the risk until you see the number. Insurance isn't a
This
guarantee
coin
that
represents our
nothing will
financial
cost you
goals,
money.
and this
It's a tool
wrench
that
is the tool
determines
we
how
use to
bad things
achieve
get
them.
when something goes wrong. And like any tool, it only works if you know how to use it. Let's go type by type. Keep in mind, every plan has different terms, every state has different rules, and what's right for you depends on your health, income, and situation. This is the framework. The specifics are yours to verify. Health insurance. This is the one almost everyone has, and the one almost no one fully understands until they actually need it. Sarah's situation plays out thousands of times every day. People assume that having insurance means being protected. What they don't realize is that their insurance comes with layers of cost that only become visible the moment something goes wrong. The first layer is the deductible, the amount you pay completely out of your own pocket before insurance covers anything. A plan with a $4,000 deductible means the first $4,000 of medical expenses that year are entirely yours. Sarah didn't know hers. Most people don't. Then there's coinsurance, the percentage you still pay even after hitting your deductible. 20% sounds small. 20% of a $60,000 hospital stay is $12,000. The out-of-pocket maximum is the ceiling, the most you'll pay in a year before insurance covers everything. It's the number that represents your worst-case scenario. It's the number Sarah wishes she'd known before she opened that bill. Here's the trade-off nobody explains clearly. Low premium plans feel affordable every month, but they often come with high deductibles and high exposure when something actually happens. High premium plans cost more consistently but protect you better when things go wrong. Neither is universally better. The right choice depends on how often you use healthcare and how much financial cushion you have. Most people aren't underinsured. They're misunderstood. They have a plan they've never actually read, covering risks they've never actually mapped out. One more thing that catches people off guard: the network. Most plans only cover care from doctors in their network at full rates. Go outside that network and you may pay dramatically more, or your insurance may cover nothing. This is how people end up with unexpected bills after otherwise covered procedures. They went to an in-network hospital, got treated by an out-of-network specialist they never chose, and opened a bill they never saw coming. Same feeling Sarah had. Different reason. Life insurance. Life insurance pays a sum of money to the people you choose when you die. The purpose is simple: protect the people who financially depend on you from being devastated by the sudden loss of your income. 2 broad categories: term and permanent. And the difference between them is where a lot of confusion and a lot of profit for insurance companies lies. Term life covers you for a defined period. 10, 20, 30 years. If you die during that period, your beneficiaries receive the death benefit. If the term ends and you're still alive, the policy expires. No payout, no cash value. For many people with dependents, Term life is one of the most cost-effective protections available. When you're young and healthy, a substantial policy can cost less per month than most subscription services. The logic is straightforward. Pay a predictable small amount to protect the people who depend on you during the years they need you most. Permanent life insurance, whole life, universal life, doesn't expire. It builds something called cash value over time, a savings component that grows inside the policy. This sounds appealing. The catch is the cost, often many times more per month than term coverage for the same death benefit. Permanent policies are sometimes sold to people who primarily need income protection, as though they're primarily investment vehicles. There are legitimate situations where permanent coverage makes sense. But if you're evaluating one, it's worth understanding exactly what you're buying and why, ideally with a second opinion from someone whose compensation doesn't depend on what you choose. Insurance doesn't stop bad things from happening. It decides how bad they get. Disability insurance. This is the most underowned, most important type of coverage most working adults have never seriously considered. And it's the one statistically most likely to actually pay out during your career. Disability insurance replaces a portion of your income if you can't work due to illness or injury. Most people picture disability as something dramatic, a catastrophic accident. In reality, most long-term claims involve far more common conditions: back problems, mental health disorders, cancer, joint injuries. Things that can happen to anyone. Imagine Sarah, still dealing with her hospital bill, now unable to work for 6 months because of complications. Her income stops. Her bills don't. Your ability to earn is likely your most valuable financial asset. Disability insurance protects that asset. Without it, an extended inability to work doesn't just affect your income, it can unravel everything built on top of it. Many employers offer disability coverage as a group benefit. If you have it, read the details, what percentage of income it replaces, how long it pays, whether the benefit is taxable. If you don't have it, or if your coverage seems thin, an individual policy is worth exploring. Property insurance. Homeowners insurance is typically required by mortgage lenders. Auto insurance is legally required in most states. These most people know. Renters insurance is the one that surprises people. Typically $15 to $30 per month for coverage of your personal belongings and real liability protection. Most renters don't have it. Most who get it wonder why they waited. Umbrella insurance sits on top of your existing policies and adds a layer of liability coverage, often starting at $1 million for situations where damages exceed your base policy limits. For anyone who has built meaningful assets, it's one of the most cost-effective protections available. Here's what the insurance industry would prefer you not think too hard about. The products marketed most aggressively, the ones with the highest commissions, the glossiest brochures, aren't always the ones most likely to serve you best. Meanwhile, disability insurance, the coverage most likely to actually pay out for a working adult, rarely gets the same spotlight. Go back to Sarah for a second. She had insurance. She thought she was fine. She'd never looked at her deductible. Never checked her out-of-pocket maximum. Never thought about what covered actually meant in dollar terms. She learned it the afternoon she opened an envelope and saw a number that changed her next 12 months. Most people aren't underinsured. They're misunderstood. The right coverage doesn't prevent bad things from happening. It decides how bad they get. Here's the framework, knowing that your specific situation, health, and goals change everything. If people depend on your income, term life insurance is often one of the most cost-effective protections you can have. Get it while you're young and healthy. The cost difference is real. If your income is essential to your household and you don't have a substantial cushion that could sustain you through months of being unable to work, disability insurance deserves serious attention. It's more relevant to most people's lives than they assume. If you rent, renter's insurance is worth looking into today. Few things cost so little relative to what they cover. If you own a home and have meaningful assets, an umbrella policy is worth a conversation with your insurance agent. And whatever coverage you have right now, read it. Know your deductible. Know your out-of-pocket maximum. Know what covered actually means in your plan before the day you need to find out. Sarah's mistake wasn't having bad insurance. It was having insurance she'd never actually understood. The number on that bill wasn't a surprise because her plan failed her. It was a surprise because she'd never learned what her plan actually was. You don't feel the risk until you see the number. Don't wait until you see the number. Follow me for more financial advices. See you in the next video.